Hi there, it's Red. So I'm really sorry about not getting as many videos up the last couple of weeks. I've just been working a lot and then I got the flu really bad, so I was just sick for a while and it just wasn't any fun. I did have like a pre-recorded video that I was going to upload for you guys so that you had something, but when I went to go edit it, I don't know, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I wasn't happy with it. And honestly, I would rather just not upload something than upload something that's not that good just for the sake of uploading, you know? Now, on to the stuff you actually care about. So this video is going to be the first video of a new series called Little Red Confessions. So it's kind of my daily thoughts and ramblings and some of my quirks and whatever. Naturally, most of these will be book related, but I can't promise you that other things aren't going to slip in there. Confession number 1. I created a new word, or at least I think I created it. I can't promise you somebody else didn't already think of this. But I created a new word this week called booksomnia. Booksomnia is book-induced insomnia. Pretty clever, right? Yeah, I know. I'm sure you probably couldn't have figured that one out all on your own. So, booksomnia. Booksomnia is an insomnia caused by several different things. The first and most obvious being the inability to sleep because you simply cannot stop reading. I know we have all been there. A book is just too good to stop reading, and the next thing you know, it is like 6 o'clock the next morning and you have to get up in an hour for work, and it's just, it's all bad. It's all bad. Cause number 2. Maybe it's just me. Could be. Probably. I don't know. But have you ever had this happen where you'll be reading a very action-packed, intense book? So you're reading this, like you got your adrenaline going, you got your heart going a little bit as you're reading the action going on, and you're excited about everything going on in this book. But you decide to be good, you decide to be responsible, you finish a chapter, you put the book down, you're in the middle of it, you gotta get up early the next morning, so you need to go to sleep. What happens? You end up laying there because now you are too pumped up from what you are reading and the action that was going on in this book to actually be able to sleep. Your mind is just going and going and going, and the next thing you know, you're just laying there. You're just laying there. You're not sleeping. So much for trying to be responsible. So the last one, when you have that feeling where you just finished a book and you cannot stop thinking about this book, and it's like this mixture of like accomplishment because you just finished this book, and like kind of a mixture of sadness because you finished this book that you love so much. And it's like one of those books that's probably sticking with you, and it's probably leading to a book hangover where it's going to maybe make it difficult for you to read the next book just because you enjoyed this book so much and you were so involved. And this feeling keeps you up. It keeps you from sleeping. Like, am I the only one this happens to? Please tell me I'm not the only one this happens to. Like, I cannot be the only one this happens to. Now, maybe it's because I'm a bit of an insomniac anyway, so that's probably part of my problem. Just a problem I've had my entire life. However, I do feel like there are times where I probably could have slept better had I just chosen not to read before bed. I feel like I should know better sometimes, like it just, not smart. Little Red Confession number 2. Time reading versus time sleeping. Alright, maybe this has taken this up to like that next level in being a book nerd. Like, maybe this is just, I don't know, hopefully I'm not alone in this. Hopefully I'm not the one pushing these boundaries, pushing these levels, but I actually have to determine what is more important to me. I mean, I have to really figure out, is this book good enough to give up sleep and to risk being crazy exhausted and probably a zombie tomorrow just to read more, just to finish this book? Or like, is this book alright? Am I enjoying it, but I can put it down? Like, it's not, I don't have to find out what happens next right now. Like, is this really the book that I find worth being tired tomorrow? Like, these are the calculations I literally go through when I'm deciding in that moment, do I keep reading or do I go to sleep? Now, another thing I do relating to this is I actually calculate how many hours of sleep I need. So I generally try to stick to the 8 hours that you supposedly need. But more than that, I kind of determine 2 sets of hours for how much I need. The first being how many hours I need to get a good, healthy sleep. The second being what is the bare minimum I need to function tomorrow. Naturally, I aim to reach that 8 hours. So, say I have to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I know that if I want to get close to a solid 8 hours of sleep, I should probably stop reading between 11:30 and 12. So that's generally the time that I aim for. And sometimes if the book's only okay, like I can make that criteria, no problem. I can put that in that book and I can turn over and I can go to sleep. Now, I really try not to push myself any less than 6 hours before I have to wake up for my bare minimum to function. Only because, like, I know myself, I am an insomniac, like, I know that I'm probably going to wake up a lot in the middle of the night, and it's going to take time for me to fall back to sleep, and these are just my patterns, and I have to accommodate for them. And so any less than that, because I know that that 6 hours that I will get will not be a solid block of sleep, I have to account for that. I'm not saying I don't break this rule from time to time for really, really, really good books, but literally these are the calculations I make before I go to bed, so I can literally figure out how much time I have to read, because I love reading and I want to be able to spend that time doing that. But learning the hard way that I've sacrificed my sleep for reading, I started to have to put these calculations and limitations on myself. Also, am I the only one that gets excited when I don't have to wake up for work or some other thing in the morning? Because that means I can basically read to my heart's content and just make up for it by sleeping in the next day. I'm not the only one that does this, right? Or somebody that gets excited because I might have a little extra time than I normally do to read before I go to bed. Like if my time reading is a little bit longer than it usually is every other night, then I actually get excited. Like this genuinely makes me happy, and this makes my day because I'm just like, yes, I get to read more. I'm like, I'm not pushing those book nerd limits, am I? Probably. So, confession number 3. My energy in books. So it is not unusual for me to read until I get tired. Like odds are I probably read a page 3 times because I'm reading it but not really retaining it, or I physically doze off while reading this book. Like I've probably dropped the book several times and like my head's all dotted off, and it's just really easy to put the book down, turn over, go to sleep. But sometimes I will be really exhausted and I am ready to go to bed, but I decide that I still want to try and read a little bit, and I think that this is okay because I am tired, so I know that that means that when I'm ready to put that book down, I can put it down and go to sleep, no problem. Seems simple enough, seems good, right? Sometimes it doesn't always work that great. I have this problem where if it's a book I'm really excited about reading, it's like a book I'm really involved in, something I'm really genuinely enjoying, it wakes me up. I'm no longer super exhausted, like I'm probably still tired on some level, but my brain has just woken up and it's just so much for sleeping. So that is all for my first Little Red Confessions video. So they kind of turn out to be more thoughts and quirks than actual confessions. Depending on how long this video turns out to be in editing, I might split this into 2 videos. So if you've dealt with any of these things, if you've experienced any of these things, or variations of these things, like comment below and like talk to me about this, because you know, maybe you haven't, and I'm just a little bit crazy and I push those book nerd boundaries. I hope not. I hope you fellow book lovers out there understand these situations, that you can relate to them in some way or another, and if not, well, enjoy my little quirks. So that is all for this video. I will have more videos up soon. Add me on Goodreads, add me on Twitter. I would love to be your friend, and I will talk to you guys later.